identify and see cells? You want to shout it out? No, he was the guy who did the microscope. Who was the first scientist to identify and see cells? Robert Hooke was the first scientist to identify and see cells.
Are you starting to get out of the way?
Do you remember what part of the cell theory Schleiden and Schwann were responsible for?
All living things are composed of cells.
Exactly. Schleiden and Schwann said that all living things are made up of cells. All living things. If I were to say all plants and animals are made up of cells, would that be the same thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Do you know the three parts of the cell theory? Jamie.
All living things are composed of cells. Cell association, unit of life and function, and cells come from three.
Exactly. So if I had a question which is not a principle of cell theory, you know that there's only three, so you would be able to pick one out. They were, again, cells are the basic unit of life. All living things are made up of cells, and cells come from other cells. Do you know what the cell theory applies to?
All living things.
All living things, exactly. Do you know what part of the cell contains genetic material?
I have this
The nucleus.
What?
Contains genetic material.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
If I were to say, have a question like, which organelle or which structure contains the other, and maybe I chose a chloroplast and thylakoids, or I put down cell wall and cytoplasm, or I put down ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum. Could you tell me which one of those contains the other? If I said the chloroplast contains thylakoids, what did I say? I was making them up as I go. The cell wall contains the cytoplasm. The ribosomes contain the endoplasmic reticulum. Could you pick which one contains the other?
Yes.
No. The cell membrane would be the next thing. The chloroplast and the thylakoid. So there's going to be a question that will ask what structure contains the other. It may not be exactly like what I just said, but you would have to be able to tell.
Strawberry.
Chloroplasts contain the thylakoids.
Is this yours? Please get your arm out of the way.
Yeah, and the straw, but I didn't know. And
And
I have to tell you, I did change the choices from what's on there. So it's not going to be the exact choice that I just gave you. What don't prokaryotic cells have? A nucleus, right. And what do eukaryotic cells contain? I'm going to see if I can pop another hand.
A nucleus in which
great,
their genetic material is separated from the rest of the
All right,
cell.
a nucleus. And do they have specialized organelles? Do they have genetic material?
Yeah.
So if I had them listed all together, would you say all of the above? Okay. Eukaryotes have a nucleus, specialized organelles, and genetic material.
What was the second one?
Specialized organelles and genetic material. What is the main function of the cell wall?
Protect the cell.
To support and protect the cell. Very good. Why is the nucleus important to cells?
Contains necessary DNA.
Right. Well, yes, it does. And what are those directions for? More specifically, yes, for making proteins.
What was that again?
The nucleus is important because it contains the instructions for making proteins. Do you know the function of the cytoskeleton?
Support the cell.
It supports the cell, right.
Instruct.
If I were to say that it helps keep shape, would that be the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Helps keep shape, supports the cell, is the same thing. This cytoskeleton. Which organelle would break down food particles? It
Mitochondria.
also was called the suicide cell.
Lysosome.
The lysosome.
Remember you wrote that in red and it was all big. That's how I
I
remember
got
it.
competition with the lawnmowers. Which organelle breaks down food particles? That would be the lysosome. The organelle that breaks down food particles.
Let's see what that is.
Lysosome. The suicide cell.
Yeah, they're called suicide cells.
Suicide sac.
Hi, Mom.
Okay, which organelle makes the proteins using the instructions? Ribosomes.
Are you going to say that for every answer?
Yeah.
Girls, that's the first 13 questions.
Ribosome.
Ribosomes,
Make.
my mind's really fried and going. The organelle that makes the proteins using coded instructions.
Okay. By the nucleus.
Using coding instructions.
Yes, from the
It makes proteins.
what? The gradient is the area of flow. And the
Wait,
area
I
of
need
flow
to
is
write-
usually from high to low.
The gradient.
To have a broken leg, it might fall. Just
No, I
laugh,
think they fixed
okay? Which organelles provide the cells with energy
Mitochondria.
and chlorophyll? The chlorophyll.
I got one.
Did you?
Mitochondria and chloroplasts
Do what?
provide the cells with energy.
Do plants have mitochondria or only chloroplasts?
Plants have both.
Chloroplasts
If
provide.
I were to ask you to trace the path of a protein in a cell,
I remember this.
I don't.
Nucleus, ribosome, rough, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and vessels.
vesicles, right?
Wait, can you say that again?
The sequence of a protein in the cell goes from the nucleus to the ribosome to the rough endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi apparatus and then vesicle.
What was that for endoplasmic?
Rough endoplasmic reticulum.
The Golgi apparatus sounds like fun to play on.
Because
it bothers me.
maybe. Hold on, we'll see. If I gave you a list of organelles, like the mitochondria, the ribosome, the chloroplast, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, could you tell me which one is found in plant cells but not animal cells? Chloroplast, right. Which organelle would not be found in animal cells, and that would be the chloroplast. If I had the cell wall, it would be the cell wall, not found in animal cells.
To help the baby penguin and save the.
What does the cell membrane do?
Oh.
Yes, it does, and something else.
Solid and a liquid.
It's
It does, that's the
semi-permeable.
characteristic of it.
Like a barrier.
It is. It's a barrier. It's going to regulate the materials that enter and leave the cell. The cell membrane is going to regulate the materials that enter and leave the cell. Are there chairs?
I wonder how you say stuff. She took a different chair right there. When we saved her seat, I was like, okay, whatever. Hand banana.
That enter and what?
Enter and leave.
Do you remember what the channels and pumps are made out of in the cell membrane? Do you remember what the channels